East by Mr. Adam Bibelow. Hello, Adam.
Hello, Kevin. How would you feel if I told you I'd watched Extreme Rules 2013 and there was a big mishap?
It's the one night of the year the Attitude Era podcast goes extreme. That's right, Extreme Rules 2013.
I'll try and keep up,
I guess. What's going to happen now that Brock Lesnar is back? Will Daniel Bryan get his just deserved push? I mean, there's a lot going on, you know? I don't think Sheamus is ready for the big time, if I'm quite honest.
No way is John Cena going to put Brock Lesnar over, mate.
And John Cena's going to take a bit of a break after this as well. This day, that was what was meant to happen.
I have watched, I should say now, for the people that might be turning off their iPods in anticipation, I have watched Heatwave 98.
Yeah, and the Extreme Rules 2013 review will be out later this week. I was be very, very blunt about this. When we first started the Attitude Era podcast, I had kind of a mental list of stuff which I wasn't going to bother doing because, you know, it's stuff which I feel has been done over and over and over again. It's the reason why I was like, I'm never going to do an episode that's like the Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah,
done.
It's all been said.
You know, that being said, if you want to know our opinions on the Montreal Screwjob, the commentary for Wrestling with Shadows is available now at selfie.com/AE podcast. But one of the main ones was, I was like, don't want to do any fucking ECW. And I was adamant about that. People were always kind of like, yeah, and the reason was because I thought, what else is there to say about ECW? Because I think ECW has been analysed and revisited to death, if I'm quite honest. And I'm not just talking about podcasts, I'm just talking about wrestling as a whole. We as wrestling fans and wrestling promoters also out there have done everything in their power to make sure that every drop of nostalgia for ECW has been bled dry. Like,
well, I'm sure if anyone's going to offer something to say, it's going to be this 24-year-old man who's never watched an ECW.
Well, that's exactly it. Once I found out that you'd never seen ECW, I was like, well, we have to fucking do it.
I'm the Billy Keeble in this situation.
Well, you're the Sam Chaplin as well in this situation. The extreme swirl as it has been. Adam's not seen that ECW, mate. For fuck's sake. But yeah, I thought, given the fact that we're at a period now where, you know, we're in an absolute glory period where, you know, the guys who are in ECW, the mainstays really, they're not just kind of coming in. A lot of them are very much established. And obviously you're talking about the likes of, you know, Taz and Dudley Boys, Raven, and even the style as a whole being replicated in WWF at the time. I thought it was very worth me going back on my initial kind of no way ECW.
Yeah.
So this isn't going to be me kind of sitting back and telling you how much I fucking love ECW, because I think that's been done.
Good.
Yeah. I'm more concerned with how you, Adam, might feel about this show coming into it.
Talk about ECW as much as I just want to talk about this show. I mean, I can't really say much about ECW because I've not seen any of it apart from Heatwave 98. So let's just take this pay-per-view as a pay-per-view and just talk about this show. We can still talk about the guys surrounding it and the players that are involved, but like you said, everything to do with ECW as a whole, it's been said.
I think so, definitely. And I think we should try and review this show. This show, which of course, Heatwave 98 was picked as the overwhelming favourite. We did an open vote on Facebook.com/Attitude Era podcast to vote for this episode. This was overwhelmingly the favourite one.
Why is that? Is there one particular match that everyone loves, or is it just the card in general, or is it?
I think most people are of the opinion there's two things. Number one, this is their most successful show in terms of they peaked. Almost, some would argue at this point.
In terms of quality or money,
just in terms of everything working and more good than bad.
Before the wheels fell off.
Before the wheels started falling off. Before people started getting disgruntled. Before the many, many, many problems with ECW that cropped up and led to its downfall. That I'm no doubt everyone who's listening are more than well aware of ECW. If you're not in tune with ECW at all, I would say do obviously watch the Rise and Fall of ECW documentary.
So good. That's on the network as well.
It's on the network, and it's top notch. But just a quick question though before we get stuck into this. ECW though, growing up, because obviously that was something that I watched a bit of. I think I mentioned before. It was on Bravo in the UK in 2000. So when ECW appeared on TNN, I got a little bit of that over in Ireland as a result of that. So I watched my ECW and I was familiar with a lot of the mainstays as a result. Yeah. Were you aware of ECW?
Totally aware of it, and I knew a fair few of the big guys, like the big names. Don't really know how I know them. I mean, one of the facts that probably helped is I had ECW Anarchy Rules, I think, on the Dreamcast. The one that's just a reskin of WWF Attitude. It fucking sucks. So I learned most of the guys from that. And obviously I was always aware of it as a kid. It's one of these things that you heard about and people talked about it, and it was sort of like that's the grown-ups kind of really, it's like the horror movies of wrestling, you know, it's really out there.
WWF at the time were very much, don't acknowledge the existence of WCW.
Yeah, you wouldn't hear the talk of it on there. Like.
But, that being said though, I mean, you'd hear the crowd chant ECW when they saw something hardcore. And when someone was debuting, Jim Ross wouldn't be, beyond mentioning, oh yeah, ECW.
Yeah.
And you had the likes of Dreamer coming around, and when, Raven debuted, stuff like that, they were very kind of like, oh, ECW, that's that other organization.
Yeah.
And that's obviously because, well established now from the Paul Heyman documentary that there was a working relationship between Vince and Heyman at the time. So that's why we do see a bit of crossover, particularly this 1998 period.
Yeah.
Obviously, a young Brackus, was seen in ECW. There would be a talent exchange, things like that.
Yeah.
Did you know of the level, did you know that it was a violent show?
I knew, that's what I knew. I knew it was violent, and that's about it. I knew that they used, way more weapons and, crazier weapons than WWF ever did. I didn't know how bad their language was. I had no idea. Pretty glad I didn't watch it too much as a kid, because some of it is pretty heavy going stuff.
When you heard as a kid, because this is what happened. Honestly, when I was a kid, I got 98 or whatever. My brother's friends had they were mad into their tape trade and stuff like that. And they had Best of Sabu, and you'd hear stories, and I'd be absolutely just blown away by the mystique of it. They're this guy's Sandman, no, he's actually drunk, or this guy's Sabu, he's covered in scars and tales of barbed wire and pools of blood on a weekly basis. And seeing as at the time my favourite shit was Hell in a Cell, and,
all the extreme stuff.
I was so foaming at the mouth. If I had YouTube at the time, obviously it was 2000, 1999, 1998, you couldn't find that stuff, but I was so fucking intrigued. When you heard about how violent it was, were you
mystique is definitely the right word. It definitely had that sort of kind of aura about it of this is different. WCW was very much, to me as a kid, felt like it was the Digimon to my Pokemon almost, whereas ECW was something completely different altogether.
I was going to say WWF is Pokemon, WCW is Digimon, ECW is
Yu-Gi-Oh!
No, I was going to say it's the mad violent anime take that your mate has got. But it's Street Fighter 2. Why is there so much violence and sexuality? Why? That's kind of what ECW was.
I wasn't the same as you, where I was desperate to get my hands on it and find it or anything. It was more just sort of my brother would tell me about it. It's oh yeah, there's this thing called ECW, but you don't need to watch that. You've got your WWF. You're grand with that. You like your Stone Cold and you're
yeah.
I never really felt. I was content with WWF. I didn't feel the drive to find any other shows like ECW and actually watch them.
But now ECW, here we go. Heatwave 1998. This is, by the admission of the ECW faithful and our fans anyway, the show for ECW. How does it hold up? How does it stack up for someone who was previously obsessed with it like myself and someone who's watching it for the first time? Let's go find out.
Straight to that show.
ECW.
What the fucking music? I'm so excited tonight because tonight Bam Bam Bigelow gets his hands on Taz. You all remember what happened last time. And Living Dangerously, Bam Bam took Taz and put him through the ring. Tonight, Bammer has assured Francine and I that he will put Taz's ass not through the ring, but through the goddamn concrete floor.
Champ, you're looking good as always. Champ, you're looking great as always.
Thanks, Joe. You don't look bad yourself tonight.
I bought a new suit. It's double-breasted, like Francine.
But Joey, I bet you your suit didn't cost you $6,000.
Right, so opening us up there, he's one of the mainstays of ECW and one of the guys which really drew me into the company originally. I'm talking about Joey Styles.
Yeah.
He's the man behind the commentator's desk for all of ECW's run. Most of the time, he was on his own.
I heard, yeah. That to me, I mean, he wasn't tonight, but that to me sounds like just, I don't think I could bear a one-man commentary team. It's too much like watching someone live streaming a game on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, I haven't tried watching one of Joey Styles.
I would
solo
say,
matches,
well,
but
depending on what you felt of his commentary, I would say I think Joey Styles is the only guy who's been able to pull off. Jim Ross could do it.
Yeah.
I don't think Jim Ross would like to do it, but Joey Styles is on record as saying that, you know, he thought that he could do it on his own. And he could.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, definitely. So I think Joey Styles' commentary on his own. Here's kind of a few points like this, which is kind of something I adored when I was younger, but now in the cold light of being an adult, is a bit of an asterisk besides my love of Joey Styles.
Yeah.
Just other ECW things. As a kid, Joey Styles going, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. You know, I just thought it was the funniest thing. The funniest fucking thing. I adored Joey Styles.
Yeah.
He was like my hero of wrestling, if I'm to be quite honest.
be honest, was it the glasses? Is that what
A
it was?
little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. It was the fact that you had
recurring
this
thing for you.
Yeah, you had this little nerdy guy in this real like fucking shithole company.
He looks like
you know?
such a goober as well, doesn't he?
He does. He looks so clean cut.
Yeah, he shouldn't be there, you'd think, to start
You
off
think
with.
he should be in a WWF because he's from
Yeah.
fucking Connecticut, you know? I mean,
He'd look better next to Michael Cole, you'd think, or something.
yeah, but I love the fact that he, on appearance, he seemed like this very much straight-laced kind of, hi, I'm Joey Styles, welcome to Livewire.
Yeah.
Going to be taking your calls, we're going to screen them first though, you know? But instead he comes out with some of the swearing and just the way he reacts.
He gets so into it. He is really ECW himself, like, completely.
And the problem though is that, like, you know, met Joey Styles WrestleMania 25.
Oh, yeah?
Queued up for an hour to do the call a match with
Oh, yeah.
Joey Styles kind of
Nice.
thing. My mate queued up, he got to do one with fucking, it was like Mean Gene, but I was like, no,
Oh,
mate.
man.
Joey Styles all the way, because he actually was known for commentary. So me and Joey Styles got to do a bit of commentary over the potted highlights of Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels,
Amazing.
the retirement match.
Brilliant.
Now, I don't remember much of it other than my analogy of Shawn Michaels using the inverted figure four to invert Ric Flair's fortunes, as it was a... Also, at one point saying, "There's no four horsemen to save him here tonight, Joey."
Oh.
But that, at the point, was the greatest moment of my life as a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
You know, as a wrestling fan, that's an important one. Now, Joey Styles, I've come to find out since, because of Twitter, he's a right-wing Republican nut.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
And that was a...
You couldn't have told me this at the end of the recording,
No, I
could
couldn't.
you?
I'm going to tell you now.
After we've sung his
I want
praises.
you to know,
Like-
you can distinguish Joey Styles, the commentator, from Joey Styles, the man who
Okay,
tweets,
yeah.
Barack Hussein Obama, it's snowing. Climate change, hashtag no. You know, that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, we'll talk purely about 98 Joey Styles,
I
shall
think
we?
so.
Yeah,
Let's bear that
let's
in
leave
mind.
it at that.
Joey opened up the pay-per-view here, as he always does. I love him kind of, you know, just being... not just the voice, but also kind of the welcoming
Is this
face.
the regular thing? Like,
Yeah.
it opens... That's really cool.
It would always
I like
start,
that.
it's like, I'm Joey Styles, and usually it would be Gertner would be there with him later on.
Yeah.
But that was ECW on pay-per-view would open with Joey Styles in the ring, kind of saying, this is what's going to
That's
happen
really
tonight.
fucking cool.
And he's joined tonight on commentary. One problem with this, I guess, is that, you know, this isn't typical. Joey didn't usually get joined by commentary on regular shows. Pay-per-views, Cyrus, you know, from...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
from,
yeah.
oh, shit, he was with the DOA?
He was with the Truth Commission, and then later on he was with the Acolytes.
Acolytes, that was...
And-
Violence turns him on. Yeah,
Violence turns him on. He will do it a bit in Joe Gertner as well. Tonight, though, we've got the one and only, the French Fries.
Yes!
Shane Douglas. Cut the fucking music! Thoughts on Shane Douglas in the commentary role?
I've got such little frame of reference when it comes to Shane Douglas. The only thing I really know him from, and this is a very specific botch, it's one of my favourites from Botchamania. It was the one where he like challenges someone in WCW and says it's going to be a best of 5 table matches.
Now cut the fucking Wrestling music.
Which then the commentary team, get more and more confused. So by the end of the night, they're going, "This is a best of 9 tables match."
Yeah, we have reviewed a bit of Shane Douglas before, but that was obviously WCW year 2000.
I forgot he was actually on that card.
Well, he was wrestling fucking Buff Bagwell.
Yeah,
mate,
I forgot about that.
But Shane Douglas here, this is the Shane Douglas he'd probably prefer you remember him for, which is sweary on top of the card in ECW.
Yeah.
Kind of has the feeling that the company is on his back. Just a great heel. A great heel to have that fucking dickhead jock be at the top.
At this point in the night when he comes out and he's at the start here and he's fucking dressed like a knockoff 2000 Triple H.
I was say Pound Shop Triple H.
Backwards leather paddy cap on, and he's got his fake Stephanie with him, Francine,
yeah.
And he's like, "Joey's new suit is double-breasted, like Francine." And immediately I was thinking, I'm not going to get on with this.
No.
I'm not going to like it. But then he sits down at commentary, and slowly throughout the night, he just becomes this amazing commentator, like doing all the proper play-by-plays and talking about psychology and stuff.
Now, Francine is, I think, now this is going to be, probably get hate for this, but like, Paul Heyman couldn't find value in women in his wrestling show, seemingly other than this kind of role, or maybe like, oh, she'll beat up a man, kind of, he very much the valet, the eye candy, I think you probably count on your hand the number of female wrestling matches there are in ECW
Not
history.
one tonight, no.
God, that's there's no women's division, there's no ECW women's champion,
right? Okay.
WCW is guilty of that as well, though. Obviously not putting any kind of feature on it whatsoever. But when you've kind of only got women coming out and the crowd are just chanting "slut," "show your tits," "she's a crack whore," regardless if she's a face or a heel.
Jesus, they did that for faces as well.
Yeah, because they just come out and they just chant whatever, and the crowd make it very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and obviously
that happens. That's a big theme tonight. It's
a big
feeling
thing.
Uncomfortable with the crowd being bloodthirsty and like full of lust and everything.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, ECW. So I was massively into older years. Back when I was 18, 19, I was ECW massive mark first. Really like trying to watch all the shows, as many as I could. And honestly, it's only from doing the Attitude Era podcast and us kind of coming to terms with kind of going, wow, fans were a bit shit back then, or fuck, that was sexist.
Yeah.
That watching ECW now, it's kind of like, right, I do have to kind of downgrade my fandom because it's 10 times worse than fucking WWF, because at least it occurred to WWF to have these women wrestle now.
At least they'd fight each other and be competitors to some extent. Yeah.
Like Heyman had connections at like strip clubs, and that's how he got a lot of his female talent in. And that's just kind of, that's how they portrayed them. And that's he did that because he knew that's what the fans were going to do. Yeah. And Francine says probably 3 words tonight.
Yeah, she says fuck all.
And that's
she's got nothing to do here. Basically.
Again, that's usually was it with the women in ECW. Other than fighting each other in a cat fight as a spot in a man's match, that was really the extent of it. Yeah, but I do realise straight away that ECW is not family friendly. Both for that and both for Shane Douglas's very colourful language.
Yeah,
F-bombs on a wrestling show.
I feel so prudish, but because I'm so unused to seeing swearing to that degree in wrestling. But I would, every time someone swore, I would genuinely go like proper gas.
Do that?
Oh god, he's fired. Like
I do honestly when Douglas swears, when he says "cut the fucking," I think it's awesome.
It is. It's shocking. It's genuinely shocking.
So the crowd start chanting "show your tits" as they try to get through the intro of this. Shane looks at Francine's breasts and the crowd then boo him.
Yeah.
Not to him, obviously. Oh, what a heel.
To us.
I don't get it.
No.
So yeah, that's our promo opening things up, and then we just cut straight to the kind of Paul Heyman made it in his basement with a VHS recorder.
It's brilliant.
Potted highlights of ECW. I love it.
It's weird. I can't put my finger on it, but the little opening promo there with Joey and French fries made me like a little bit uneasy because I was thinking like, oh, this is going to be nothing but all the things we complain about on the podcast. Yeah. This is going to make me feel very uneasy and just uncomfortable for the entire night. And then I don't know what it was, but this video package they play here, it just suddenly all started making sense.
Ruffling you on the head, kind of going, "Oh, don't worry, there's violence too."
I don't know. It was like, oh yeah, kind of. the gritty, dirty, fucking zero budget, like, what do you expect? You're bound to be offended by this. It's ECW, of course it's going to make you uncomfortable. And once I'd sort of got my head around the fact that it's like, yeah, it's not clean, it's not going to be regular WWF stuff, I kind of eased into it a little bit more. This opening package really, like, got me into the whole gritty,
I know. And
nasty kind of mood.
Again, I think Paul Heyman at the time, I don't think was sitting there wondering, well, man, no woman's going to watch the show if we only portray women like this.
Yeah, he didn't give a shit.
He didn't give a shit.
It's not his audience.
He was looking for 18 to 24 or whatever, basically.
I'm still just in that category.
Exactly.
And this package worked on me. It's effective manipulation.
Yeah, and that's exactly. They went. The thing at ECW is they were not worried about sponsors or being a publicly traded company. They went for the niche and they went for as hard as possible to that aggressive male, straight, white dude fucking target demo, and that's what ECW is. And as a result of that, you're going to see a lot of stuff here on this show tonight that we fucking love. But I imagine as well, there's a lot of stuff that will probably make you kind of go, ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's both at the same time. That's ECW for you. But I just do love because everyone wants to be gritty and everyone wants to be, wants to have the illusion that they're edgy but you know what? No wrestling company ever has managed to strike the balance between low budget and edgy, but also production values and can actually be watched and enjoyed as a show.
It's because, like you say, they've got no one to impress or to please. They fucking go for it. They go all out in terms of, like, they could just have, like, a little bit of violence or a little bit of bad language.
But
they go full hog, and, like, the whole thing just. You can't emulate something like that. You either do it or you either do it all in, or you don't do it at all. And that's why it works in their favour.
Definitely. And this as well, the fact that it has that kind of minimum standard of the camera isn't shaky. The ring is mic'd up awesome. The commentators can be heard clearly.
It's competent,
it's done to that minimum standard that you just have to have for a wrestling show. I would actually say, and this is going to be fucking ridiculous, but at times the production values of just the shooting alone was better than WCW.
Oh no, I'd agree. I can't get on with WCW's production values personally.
Even though WCW was probably had 2 zeros at the end of their production budget.
Yeah,
it's just interesting though how that kind of crops up.
I think that's kind of more about knowing wrestling and how to film wrestling, less about budget and just knowing the best way to go about shooting or something or producing a product like that.
And you better believe everyone who's working for Paul Heyman knew their fucking shit.
Oh yeah,
he found those passionate people, the people who are willing to fucking get up on a cross. For everything that goes to production as well.
Well, they talk about it non-stop while they're all eating spaghetti at Paul's mom's house, as we know from Beyond the Mat.
Jerry Lynn taking on Just Incredible in her opening contest. I got immediately excited for this. People always talk about how ECW's not just blood and guts, and they always kind of point to there's other ECW as well, and this very much is usually what people are talking about. This kind of fast-paced, technically sound, glorious grappling. And you're getting here 2 of my faves. I love Jerry Lynn, absolutely love him. I love Just Incredible, absolutely love him as well.
Do you want to know my frame of reference for this match?
By all means.
Yo, you dealing with the X Factor.
I got everything I ever wanted. Well, I know you hate X Factor, but you ain't gonna put me down like that.
I always knew Just Incredible was a big deal.
Yeah.
But, like,
he was a much bigger deal than X Factor.
All I fucking know about the guy is X Factor with Albert and Pac.
Did you see Jerry Lynn then in his very brief tenure?
No, I have no idea who Jerry Lynn is. No idea.
So you've never seen Jerry before?
No.
Okay, Jerry Lynn is kind of, in many ways, is like kind of people who say he's like the hardest working man in wrestling kind of thing. Never got his big break.
I'm gonna be snookering you tonight. Big break!
Was a bonus character on SmackDown 3, but that doesn't really count as making it in the business anymore. So Jerry Lynn,
Fred Durst, you could say the same.
Yeah, exactly. Fred Durst has probably got more accomplishments that are recognised by wrestling fans than Jerry Lynn. Fucking awesome, love him, really great. Didn't have his fair shake of the stick in WWF. Very humble man, and again, I don't think that serves you very well.
Not in the wrestling business.
Wrestling, no. Nicole Bass sighting.
Oh, I was not expecting her. I had no idea she was an ECW.
Crossover of talent there again. That would have been kind of, you go down there for a bit, then you come up here for a bit.
She was sent by WWF. She wasn't just hanging around here.
Kind of would have been sent back and forth a little bit. So I must say, Nicole Bass is portrayed. If I didn't think it'd be possible for her to be portrayed better than she was on WWF, but they actually managed.
She is, because she's like on WWF, she was a freak show spectacle.
Look at her, she's
Yeah,
not.
it was
Whereas here,
gross.
they're kind of more for a China
she's
type
that.
gimmick.
Well, he even says at one point they should call her Russia because she's so much bigger than China. Like, that's fucking blatant, right? That's
Obviously,
what
someone in
they're trying to do.
WCW was watching this going, Asia, we can use that for a thing. Like. But yeah, Nicole Bass is part of Just Incredible's Oddtourage. If you've got an odd entourage, you're made in ECW. And ECW had odd entourages out the fucking wazoo. We've got Chastity, Nicole Bass, and, quote, the sexiest man alive, Jason.
I tell you what, he is a fucking hunk, though, isn't he? Do you not think?
He's greasy as fuck.
Oh no, he's got that sort of fucking Joey Ryan thing going on for him.
I think if you were to ask like a poorly written female character in a porn what their idea of a hunk is, they draw a sketch of Jason.
Well, what does that say about me?
I don't know. Jason, I love this weird entourage. There was another guy, Simon Diamond. You know, he had a weird entourage as well. Dudley's later on, they have a weird entourage. Raven had a weird entourage. It's a trope of Paul Heyman's booking. But like Simon Diamond, for instance, when he came out, you know, when he was in ECW, he just had an usher in an old-timey cinema, a lad with a fucking torch. No fucking reason, he just did. I'm a bad guy, where are my weirdos? They need to, you know, pad me out. I love that.
If I'm honest, I'm not a massive fan of that, just purely as an outsider who is trying to take in everything that's going on. There was so many instances tonight where the ring is just surrounded by all these people.
Yeah.
I'm like, who are these guys?
And it's honestly, I'd
can't
struggle.
take it in. Like,
I'd struggle to tell you.
yeah,
At
there's
the
so
best
many
of
of them.
times, why each of those people is out there.
It's. I think it's cool if a couple of guys have entourages. But for every single person to have like 6 characters that I need to recognise with them as well, it's a little too much for me.
Yeah, no, it's a lot to take in,
Yeah.
definitely. Obviously, watching this on the network as we did,
Oh yeah.
bit of an issue with this. One of, if not the coolest thing about ECW back in the day was its music.
So I hear, yeah.
And I don't think you probably got. That's one thing you definitely didn't get the right
None of
look
it.
at.
There was like one entrance music throughout the whole night that was actually correct. I think, and that's
Sabu's,
it.
I
Yeah.
think. Taz's as well, I believe.
Yeah.
But obviously, WWE aren't forking out the money for that.
Yeah.
And you were, I mean, honestly, you know, you're kind of stuck in that case because it was never commercially released with the proper music.
Yeah.
You know, and WWE aren't allowing, you know, pay-per-views that are unedited to be just around on the internet these days to stream.
Yeah.
So you're kind of stuck, really.
Sucks.
It sucks out a lot of the atmosphere.
Yeah, because the music they replace it with isn't passable at all. It's awful.
I will say it's better though than the ECW DVDs that used to come out this neck of the woods, where there was just a rush job via RF Video, I think, or whoever had the rights, and they would just throw a loud royalty-free track over the music.
What, over the original?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And you wouldn't hear the commentary, you wouldn't hear the crowd, all you hear would be... Now
I will say it is seamless. Like, even though it's
Yeah, no,
it's
it is
shit,
seamless.
you
Joey-
can still hear Joey Styles
Yeah.
perfectly clearly underneath.
I think
You can
Joey
hear the crowd.
re-recorded some lines.
Did he really?
I think so.
Oh, I didn't spot
I
that.
was being very close to this and very, very
It's
close.
very
to it.
well hidden, if so.
If so, very well hidden. But if any detectives out there and you reckon you know, get in touch, obviously. But yeah, the music on this kind of suffers as a result.
Yeah.
Just know that, you know, we're aware that the atmosphere has been sucked out a little bit. Jerry's trousers nay fit, but he is pretty fucking incredible. Justin Incredible gets a Justin asshole chant. And we get quick ass action. Shares what you're seeing WCW at the time, really. But it's like turned up to 11.
It's so good. Like, straight away, these guys are fucking brilliant, both of them. Just Incredible's only 24 here as well, they say. He's
Yeah.
so young.
He was very much considered to be the next guy.
Yeah.
At the time, he was considered to be kind of a young prodigy almost. And I'll tell you something, there's nothing worse than going back watching old wrestling shows when you got a couple of 20-year-olds in the ring and they're talking about how they're the future of the business and you know this is them peaking. It's horrible. Because Just Incredible probably deserved better, but he never reached these heights.
Judging by his performance in this, yeah, I was astonished that he did so badly in WWF.
Yeah, because
he's amazing.
And he was
yeah.
mates with the Clique as well. How the fuck does that happen?
He was mates with the Clique.
How the fuck does that happen?
Jesus.
How does X Factor happen? The fuck?
Two members of the Clique.
How the fuck does that happen? Is Albert so poisoned that he manages to undo the political leanings of two of the stars? I don't understand it. I don't. Joey Styles, I'll tell you one thing as well about this, what I love. kind of actually you were seeing WCW at the time. What you weren't seeing in WCW at the time, though, were announcers who gave a fuck about the moves, the style of wrestling, and the wrestlers in there. Joey Styles is putting these lads over massively.
He is fucking phenomenal at this. He knows how to call a match. And
he
how
knows
to
how to
make
call
these guys
it,
look
put other
incredible.
guys over. Tell you one thing he does, though, which I don't like, which is him kind of being a little bit too smart for his own boots. When he's kind of going, oh, so-called wrestling journalists say that they know what's gonna...
Yeah.
Mate, don't expose the business. That's our job, yeah? Okay?
It just makes him look like a sneering asshole as well, to be honest. Like, it comes off as whiny.
If you're in the business and you're exposing the business, you're basically just flashing us, alright? It's wrong. It exposes the business. Just incredible. It sets a chair up under the face of Jerry Lynn. He gets a running knee to it, followed up with sit-down powerbomb. Unique offense by these two guys. Fucking love it.
Immediately, the second weapon started getting involved in this. I was like, he's going to fucking get disqualified. I remember
Not an
this
ECW, mate. That's
Such a fucking idiot.
That's what I love about it, is that when there's matches where you know that every match you can have weapons, it doesn't mean that they're going to go, right, now we have to do weapons.
Yeah.
A match will go by and there'll be no weapons, and people generally, if it was well wrestled, wouldn't be pissed off.
Yeah.
They'd just be like, oh, okay, this match hasn't got weapons. But when they do use weapons, it doesn't mean they have to rely on them.
Yeah.
Kind of go, this match has weapons, better fucking use the weapons.
It's just
lads.
another part of the arsenal.
Exactly, and it kind of actually, in their own way, they managed to, I would argue that by using them a bit in a lot of matches as opposed to loads in a few, they actually managed to hold back a little bit on the weapons in a roundabout way. And maybe people might not agree with that, but in their own way, I think they did. Big fucking headlock by Just Incredible, though, slows things right down, and the entourage keep interfering on his behalf, working over Jerry Lynn. They then have a crowd-adjacent brawl.
Yeah, just next to it.
A lot of this in ECW, not a fan of crowd brawling.
No,
we've
established this. It bores me to tears.
I think again, ECW having the bits that I love and the bits that I hate at the same time. It's a bit annoying. Shane tells us it's fucking roasting hot, assumedly incredibly smelly as well, judging by the makeup of the crowd. And as soon as he says, there's no air conditioning. It's Heatwave 98. It's hot as fuck, Joey Styles. My balls are glued together. And you see Jerry Lynn is drenched.
Yeah.
He is drenched in sweat.
It's cool, again, stuff like that, where he will address the fact, like, you know, in WWE, they'll just try and pretend, like, don't mention the fact that he's sweating loads.
Yeah.
Not to embarrass him like that. But when Douglas says stuff like that and he's explaining about how they must be exhausted, it's so hot in here.
It makes it seem real.
It makes them seem like real men, not superstars. These are actual guys that are wrestling now.
I think the ECW wasn't concerned with its wrestlers being viewed as branded demigods at all times.
And that's so refreshing. That
is.
makes such a change.
Now, here are guys who are fighting in a shitty arena and they're suffering for it.
And for most of the roster, they're dressed like shit. They look rubbish.
And
like,
I think the fact that they embrace that, like, Land of Misfit Toys thing,
definitely.
it really, really helps things here. If you had Joey Styles trying to fucking make out that, you know, I mean, he's telling you that they're athletic and all that stuff, but he's trying to make out that they were like fucking, you know, like the world's leading greatest superstar.
Look at the Sandman. He's a god among men.
Look at the size of the Sandman. He's put on some lean muscle mass. He had 10 beers before he came out. You know, I like that. It is refreshing that they kind of treat them as humans almost. A top rope Hurricane Rana gets reversed into a catch powerbomb, and I jumped out of my fucking chair.
The snap.
DDT onto a chair by Jerry Lynn, and just fucking amazing. Now, the entourages are coming in to break up the pins. This is setting a pace for an opening contest. I'm fucking adoring this.
Tell you what I noticed in this match as well, I don't know if this is a recurring thing for ECW, but the way the ring is mic'd, the fucking
Loud.
slams sound like cannons going off. They're amazing.
That was their style. They made the ring was very springy, and there were a lot of mics there. So when they hit that mat, it fucking goes bam.
If you'd have told me that before I watched it, I would have thought that sounded like the hokiest thing ever, having it really loud. But it sounds so genuinely awesome. Like, you get this proper big
and it's just, it's great. And it echoes around the shitty old arena.
Yeah.
Everyone in the crowd is like fucking shook when a move is done. And again, like, it's quite bouncy, but you don't kind of go, well, that's very, very bouncy.
Not to the point of silliness, no.
No one in ECW, no crowd in ECW, as hardcore and bloodthirsty as they were, ever complained about the mat being too bouncy.
Too soft.
Oh, it's not hard enough, you know. And whereas WWF, which had the fucking rock solid mats, and the shit hurt like fuck and looked and sounded like shit.
That makes no sense, does it?
Yeah, exactly. Imagine Bradshaw and fucking Vader with this match.
Oh god.
I'm just saying, like, you know, it's around the same time. Top rope Hurricane Rana to the outside through a table. There's a fucking mouthful.
Opening contest.
Opening contest. Have we set the pace yet?
Seriously.
Jason then gets tiger bombed by Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn with a lame low blow spot on Nicole Bass. And kind of, she was treating her like kind of just being the silent person. She comes in, hits her down below, and then she acts like she's got, testicles. And Joey's like, she probably has testicles, knowing her.
Yeah, Joey Styles, I don't like the way he talks about Nicole Bass. Like, he's really trying to put over the fact that, even though we were just saying earlier about how that she gets a better treatment here than WWF,
but still,
even so,
no, couldn't resist.
Oh, there's Nicole Bass, whatever she is.
Whatever that thing,
Yeah, it's gross.
Tell you what, WWE, if you want, right, and the job is going, you give it to me and Adam, right, and when you go at the start of your fucking shows, we'll let people know if it's going to be transphobic or not. Didn't mean it. I would have thought 2 episodes in a row that this would come up, but there you go.
I would have thought there's not a single transgender person on the roster that would still get transphobia in a fucking pay-per-view.
There you go, lads. Jerry gets the tombstone onto Chastity again. The entourage has to get hit, right?
Yeah.
But Joey Styles here, right? You're gonna have to fucking go out your way to hit women in ECW. It's gonna happen, obviously. That's the accepted thing. You have to accept that, I guess. Jerry tombstones Chastity, and then Joey Styles goes, "Now, normally I wouldn't say you should hit a woman, but she's asking for it."
Yeah.
Right,
but you still shouldn't though.
We're not, everyone's not smart like you, Joey Styles. A lot of these fans aren't going to understand your supposed context.
Yeah.
But telling people that it's okay to hit a woman if they, quote, deserve it, is not very helpful.
I don't care if you'll be all like one of those people that's like, but it's ECW, of course they hit women, they were extreme. It's like, I don't think anyone in the crowd would have really been that bothered if ECW didn't involve violence towards women.
She didn't even do anything as well. That's the thing.
Outside of this specific example, because if you use the defense that this is typical in ECW and it's just one of the things that happens, take that entirely out of ECW. Would people be pissed off if there was no violence towards women? Would
it be any less ECW?
Yeah. Right. Would people be annoyed if there was no violence towards women?
A good question, considering this is a match where we've had fucking catch, top rope, power bombs.
Yeah, it's still been incredibly
top rope hurricane to the outside through a table. I mean, things like that.
Sarah with the face tombstoning a woman
and saying that she deserves it.
Yeah. No. That leaves a really bad taste.
No thanks, ECW. Just Incredible gets a top rope tombstone pile driver.
Yeah.
And there you go, Just Incredible wins. This match I was watching this and kind of going, I'm very glad that the fans picked this one, because this is ECW in a nutshell. The enthralling, mind-blowing highs, the work rate, the spots, the commentary, alright, the greasy fucking shitty awful lows, okay, the fucking sexism, the violence towards women, and then the creamy middles as well, you know, and it was ECW in a nutshell. Everything which I used to and still love about